Today we're going through a number of pickups that I've made since the last gaming related video that I did. First off, straight up, PlayStation 5. Of course, it's been all over the place in the gaming world about the 30th anniversary limited edition. I did pick it up standard retail on a second chance draw, so I feel pretty lucky that I even got this. How many of these there are, I don't think they've actually said. I think they've only said how limited the Pro PlayStation 5 is. So there's the Slim, the DualSense controllers and the Edge controllers. I don't think we really know how many are out there in the world. So time will tell. So that's that one. I've got a bunch of Switch titles, which is pretty much where I've been focusing, and also what's been available around my areas. But I've got a couple of other items here as well, which I'll run through those first because it's a small pile. First one is on 3DS. We picked up Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. And we've also picked up Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Both excellent games, puzzle games on the 3DS. Going back a little bit further in time, we've picked up the Sims 2 Pets on the DS. Of course, that'll play on the 3DS as well, which I've actually sold off all of my DS consoles and my DS Lites, and I now just concentrate on the 3DS and the Switch as far as my portable gaming is concerned. Also, bigger items, Pokemon Black version for the DS. Picked that one up at a very reasonable price, and not long after I picked up that one, Pokemon Black version 2 popped up on my radar at a reasonable price, so I picked that one up as well. So that now pretty much completes my Pokemon collection that I intend to buy for the DS and 3DS. And there's still a few Pokemon games on those consoles that I don't have, but I'm also not interested in them, so I'm not looking for a complete collection. We've also picked up a few on the PlayStation 3. A couple of these turned up in bargain bins, and the first one I already had, which is LA Noire, but this is the launch edition, which includes Naked City and the Badge Pursuit Challenge. And this overall was a better copy than the copy I already had. So this one goes into my collection and the other copy's on the sell pile. Also picked up Saints Row 2 and Batman Arkham Origins. So we've got a nice little collection of games there in the older consoles, and they were all at a pretty reasonable price, so happy about those. From there we move into the Switch, and there's a few here to get through, so we won't talk about them in any great detail for the most part. Tales of Symphonia Remastered Chosen Edition, box 1, that's sealed. Strangely enough, I found it on the used games pile, opened at EB Games, and when I went to the counter they pulled out a sealed brand new one for me. It does have a little rip on the plastic on the bottom, but that's it. It is a sealed one, and they charged me the same price, so I was very happy with that. I haven't seen great reviews on this, but you know, it's one of those ones where some people love it, some people hate it. It all depends on what you're into. Now this next one is one that I had picked up the original version for, and that's Shin Megami 5. This is the Vengeance Edition, which includes DLCs in it. So this is the Steelbook version of the Vengeance Edition, and sealed. I've also got the original version, the Fall of Man edition, which you've seen in a previous video, which comes with the backpack and all the extra paraphernalia. So this is one Atlas are well known for re-releasing games with additional content and additional features, and this is one of those ones that it actually got really good reviews on the additional content and what it did for the game. So looking forward to actually peeling the plastic off that one and playing it at some point, and the other one will stay sealed in my collection. Diefield Chronicles, not great reviews on this one, but I've been enjoying it. I've actually stopped halfway through. The reason I've stopped is because I've picked up another game that we'll get to, and I'm currently playing through that and loving it so much that I haven't got back to Diefield. I will get back to Diefield after I finish this other one. The only downside I've had with it is the amount that you have to grind, go back and refight battles you've fought to build up your skill set to go into the next battle. I would have preferred more side events to build up your skills and abilities rather than having to go back and redo the same battles. So it's a little bit of a cheat on their side, I think, for this one. Now, this one is a more recent one. EaseX Nordics, really looking forward to this one. And I'm actually playing through another one at the moment. This is the deluxe edition, so it's got a few extra bits and bobs inside, like cards or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And there's another Ease game coming out next year. So Ease are really starting to come on strong, working through. One I've had on my radar for a while but haven't bought, and it's been because there's been a number of ways it's been released, including digital download codes, which I'm just not interested in. I would rather just buy it on the eShop than buy a plastic case with a code in it. But it's been finally released by THQ Nordic, and that is Trine. And this has got 1 through to 4, all on the cartridge. So THQ Nordic released this one, and this is, it's labelled as the Ultimate Collection Physical Edition. Yes, it is. And that was released in line with the release of Trine 5. So I've picked those both up, and I'm really looking forward to playing those. A couple of others that I picked up on the discount bin. One I've played, the other one I'm yet to get to. So the one I'm to get to is Trek to Yomi. I don't know much about this, but it is all dark and shadowy and reads and looks pretty cool. So that one's on my playlist. Looking forward to that. Next one that I've picked up is Scorbma Snowfall. It's a Sami spiritual cultural adventure that immerses you in that world, and it's an absolutely beautiful game. I've played through it and really enjoyed it. I've seen some footage of the PS5, and the graphics and resolution are way better in that, obviously, than the Switch. I don't think it's fair to compare the two. Nintendo Switch is all about mobile gameplay, smaller screen, and being able to play anywhere at any time, whereas the PS5 is about performance. It's a fixed wired console targeting high performance. So the two shouldn't really be compared on graphics, and I only mention it for this one because the footage I saw, there was a few things that were visible in the PS5 version that weren't really visible in the Nintendo Switch version with ease, which made some of the gameplay a little harder to work through the puzzles on the Switch. Doable, certainly, and you find your way through, but they were a little bit harder because of that resolution shortfall on the Switch. But a really enjoyable game. It's not overly long, completely playable and enjoyable on the Switch, and I loved it. Has Been Heroes. Didn't get a lot of great rap on this one. A lot of people sort of discounted it as not worth it. It's hard. You will die a lot. It's hard to get started. Once you work your way through the rhythm of how it works and start to advance, there's constant challenge there. You will die a lot, but it becomes really addictive and enjoyable, and I've struggled to put this one down, to be perfectly honest. You pick it up, play a couple of minutes of game, put it down. It's a great one for the moments where you just need to kill some time, but you don't have hours. You've got 10 minutes, 15 minutes to kill, and you've got your Switch with you with this one there already loaded. Just fire up a game, run through one or two, and shut down and move on. Rune Factory 3 Special. I don't know a lot about this one, but it was in the cheap bin, and I've heard good things about Rune Factory, so I've dabbled a little bit on the 3DS in Rune Factory, but didn't really get into it. So, this one was cheap, so I picked it up, and we'll give it a go. This one's been on my radar for a long time. So many people have spoken about it as one of the games on the Switch. That it is fantastic mechanics and fantastic resolution gameplay. Really enjoy to play on the Switch. So it has been on my radar for a long time, and the price just never came down on it. I've finally come across it at a reasonable price and picked it up. So happy about that one. The same goes for Cuphead. It's another one of those ones that is considered pretty hard. It's one where you basically just fight the bosses. It's been on my radar for a long time, and it was a hard one to get. Really popular, and the prices just stayed up there. Finally, I found a copy at a reasonable price and picked that one up. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I've been a big fan of Prince of Persia since the early days, the first time Prince of Persia came out on the PC. I remember playing it as early teenager and really enjoying it. One of the best games of that era. To have this come out in that style is fantastic for going back to my childhood. So I had to pick this one up, but at the same time, because I've played Prince of Persia's throughout quite a bit, I wasn't keen to pay full price on it. So I waited for it to pop up in the discount bins, and EB Games had it at a cheap price, brand new sealed. So happy to pick that one up, and we'll be looking forward to giving that one a play. This one's an interesting one that flew under the radar quite a bit. This is Neo: The World Ends With You. This is a follow-up game to The World Ends With You on the 3DS. It's not the same game. It is a different game. For all reports, The World Ends With You is better on the 3DS. It's not an easy game to play. You will get carpal tunnel and finger cramps and whatnot, because you're playing two screens with stylus and buttons, and it's all over the place. But apparently playing the version of it that is on the Switch, it's just not the same. Playable and enjoyable, and if you haven't experienced the 3DS, you'd probably be fine with it. But if you have experienced the 3DS version, reports are that it's not as good, and that the 3DS version, although difficult in the controls, was more enjoyable in that way with the dual screens. The World Ends With You Neo was built specifically for the Switch. Haven't played it. You don't see a lot about it, simply because I think a lot of people just thought it was a remake of the original game on the 3DS and didn't even look at it. But it is a different game. It is a follow-up to that game, and from the reports I've seen, it's a good game, so I'm looking forward to playing that one. We have Persona 5 Tactica. I haven't played this yet. Generally, the Tactica games I haven't been a big fan of, but I am a big fan of Persona, so am looking forward to giving this one a try. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Loved Shovel Knight on the 3DS, so of course I had to pick it up on the Switch. So I'm looking forward to giving this a go on a different console, but it's not right up there on my playlist. It's one of those ones I'll play on a rainy day, maybe between other large RPGs to give my mind a break from the larger ones. Finally got around to picking up No Man's Sky. It reminds me of the old PC game Elite. Used to love Elite, just the vector graphics, cruising through space, mining, picking up resources, building up your ship and your ship's battle capability. This reminds me very much of that, only it's got graphics instead of vectors, so it's much more enjoyable and immersive to play with less imagination. Have been playing this in bursts because it's one of those typical has no ending type games in reality, although there's a story mode which I'm sure does have an ending. I'm not really following the story and I'm just cruising around enjoying the environs. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, not one that I picked up straight away when it came out. Never been the biggest fan of Mario's. I'm more of a Zelda person and a Metroid person. So I wasn't eager to grab this as soon as it came out, although there was a lot of hype about it. Benefit of that is that I was able to pick this up at a discounted price, and I will get onto this and play it. Being an RPG, it's in the realm gaming that I enjoy, so I am looking forward to it. But not one that's high on my pile to get into. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. Picked this one up, and this completes my collection of Final Fantasy on Switch. I also recently acquired Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 13-2. Unfortunately, they're not on the Switch, and I've seen no rumours or suggestions that they ever will be. So I've picked those up on the PS3. I've got a funny feeling that's where they'll stay. And they may be a game that becomes valuable in the future on the PS3, who knows. But at the moment, that expands my collection out to all of that I can on the Switch and the remainder on the PS3. Now, this is the one that's got my attention at the moment. This is the one that's in my console and that I'm struggling to put down. Ys Monstrum Nox. Really enjoying this. Love the Ys games. Love the combat RPG style of these. And Monstrum Nox is no disappointment in that regard. It provides everything and reflects back to previous games. And if you have played previous games on the one console, it does recognise that and gives you a couple of bonus items to give you a boost at the start, which doesn't go astray. In fact, I've not changed out of those items the whole game. That stayed with me. But really enjoying this. I'm into chapter 6. Usually these have about 7 or 8 chapters. Not sure what this one actually has, but really grinding through this one and loving it. There's no real drama about having to grind to get your stats up. There's enough there in the game throughout to keep doing something new and still build up, and to be able to purchase defense upgrades and attack upgrades in the various aspects of the game. Really enjoyable, and I've been finding the Ys series a really great series to play on the Switch. Next couple of ones that I've picked up in the cheap bin. Don't know a lot about them, but looking forward to giving them a go. They look interesting. Children of Morta. It's embark on the adventure of an extraordinary family of heroes. Just in that itself was enough to say, okay, well, it's an adventure game. Let's give it a go. Don't really know anything about it, but if you think it's a great game, yes, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Chronos Before the Ashes, another one that I don't know anything about, haven't looked at, but kind of gives me like Diablo type vibes, so I'm looking forward to giving this a bash and seeing exactly what it is and how enjoyable it is. THQ Nordic, I've got a few games of theirs and I've enjoyed them generally, so it was worth a go on that one. Almost at the end, Outward Definitive Edition, another one that I don't know anything about, but picked up in a cheap bin. Immersive RPG, vast world, keywords in my book to say let's give it a go. So once again, throw comments in if you know more about this game. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The final one of the pickups for the moment, Persona 5 Strikers. So once again, like Tactica, it's not an area that I generally jump into, but because it's Persona and I enjoy Persona, I'm going to give this one a go. This one apparently does have bonus content with a code included, and there's no greyness over the code, so I won't show you the back of it, but it's got the slip inside. I don't know if it's been used or whether it is a one-time use type scenario, but we'll see what that does. So that's all of the pickups since my last video, which was the complete Switch collection. So this brings out the rest of my collection and identifies what it is. There is a few more that I actually have on back order. They're not out yet, so they're on pre-order, I should say. One is Tiny Thor, the Mjolnir edition. Tiny Thor is available as a digital game at the moment, but it's actually being released as a physical through Strictly Limited. Last time I checked, a few days back, there was still, I think it was 35% of what they plan to produce available. So it appears that it's not getting huge demand, but it's a Metroidvania type thing, and it's one that has caught my attention and I'm looking forward to playing. Ys are putting out another one, Ys Memoir, The Oath in Felghana. That is going to be available in early January, and that's a remake of Ys 3, as I understand it. So I'm looking forward to playing that on the Switch. I've also picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I do have that on the Wii U, haven't got around to playing it. So I'm really keen to see what they've done with it for the Switch, because based on what they did with the rest of the Xenoblade games, this one should be absolutely fantastic. From what I saw of Wii U, I had great desires to play it, but there was a download required to fix some performance issues, and unfortunately by the time I got to it, the store for the Wii U had closed, and so I haven't ripped it out of the plastic. I've got a sealed copy. So I'm wrapped that it's come out on the Switch. I was hoping it would. The final one on my pre-order list, which is due out in early December, is an old one that I never really heard a lot of people talk about, but I really enjoyed playing it. In fact, I went back and played it about 4 or 5 times on the PC, even to the point of building a PC virtual environment to be able to specifically play it again. And that was Twinson's Little Big Adventure. So we now have coming out a Little Big Adventure, Twinson's Quest. And that is a remake of Twinson's Little Big Adventure, but with some additional content added in. So I'm really looking forward to getting that again, and I'm rapt that it's on the Switch. I think it'll be one that really lends itself well to the Switch. Simple game, puzzle game. It's basically walking around the world solving puzzles and destroying creatures that get in your way and try and stop you. But it's more about the puzzles than anything else, and it's one that I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to that one. Whether you buy to collect or play, happy hunting.